So you want to start a YouTube channel, but English isn't your first language? Same. And for way too long, I kept asking myself, should I create content in my native language or just go for English? If that sounds like you, keep watching. So let's talk about the reasons for making videos in English, the doubts that might hold you back, and what it's really like when you didn't grow up in an English-speaking country. This is the second long-form video on my channel here. The first one was in German, and when I made it, at that time I still wasn't sure whether to make videos in German or in English here. And this was a very big question for me for a long time. Actually, since I started to work as a freelancer full-time in 2022 and 2023, that was the time when I created a new Instagram account for my business. I'm a graphic designer and I do e-commerce design and brand design. And back then I created a German account because all of my clients were German. And I live in Germany, so it was logical to make German content, although social media for me personally has always been international, so English speaking. And I had to adapt a little bit to my only German content. But now with this YouTube channel, I decided I want to switch to English and stick to it for now. And the reasons are simple. The first reason is I want to connect with as many people as possible. When I posted in German on my graphic design Instagram account, I always thought it was a pity that not everyone could understand my posts. Of course, not everyone speaks English, but I'd say the majority of people on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube do. It does make sense to post content in the language that your customers are speaking. If your goal isn't to gain millions and trillions of followers, but rather to bring value to your target audience and attract new clients, then it's a sensible choice. It really depends on your business or personal goals. But for this YouTube channel, my priority is not to attract new clients, it's to connect with like-minded people. The second reason regarding switching to English content here is a bit selfish. But maybe you could use this reason for yourself too. Here's the thing, I just want to practice my output in English, meaning my storytelling, writing and pronunciation. You may have seen videos discussing why we can understand English perfectly when listening to native speakers, but struggle to speak it fluently ourselves. The first video I found on this was by Ruri, and she explains it really well. Basically, if you learn English in school as your second or third language, you don't really practice speaking it enough. But at the same time, we're surrounded by English all the time, through the internet, social media, Netflix, and so on. So I always thought my English is so good, but when I actually tried to speak, I sounded terrible. I'd forget basic words and it would get awkward and embarrassing. And it's just because I don't use the language enough, right? So you have to use your basic vocabulary every day and actually think in that language too, to really become fluent. And doing a YouTube channel in English helps you create more output in this language. You write scripts in English, you get ideas for new videos and start thinking about them in English. And of course, you also practice speaking and pronunciation while filming your videos. So the reasons for doing YouTube in English are pretty obvious and convincing, right? But what about the objections? One of the biggest objections to creating content in English as a non-native speaker is authenticity. We might think, but I'm my most authentic self in my native language. That's the language I grew up with, the one I can express myself best in. And I know all the slang phrases and so on. And yeah, that might be true to some extent. But I've seen so many YouTubers creating content in imperfect English with strong accents. And their videos are still valuable, entertaining, and even go viral. So that right there is proof for our logical brains that you can be authentic in a language that isn't your own. Or let's put it in another way. Maybe you've heard this before. When we speak different languages, our personality shifts a little. This will be one of my next videos, stay tuned. But saying that you can only be authentic in your native language, I'd have to disagree. I'd even say that's a big lie. Do you have other objections? Write them in the comments. So if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel but keep overthinking it, just start. Pick a topic that's easy for you. Use whatever camera you already have at home, even if it's just your phone camera. And use a language that feels comfortable for you. With every video you put out, you'll learn something new. You can make small adjustments as you go. Make your first videos just for fun. Don't overthink the strategy. Do like 10 videos just for yourself with zero expectations. But honestly, I can't say much more about this yet, since this is only my second long video. These are just the tips I've heard from other YouTubers, and I'm going to test them out for myself and see what works. Because not everyone's journey is the same, and at the end of the day, the journey is the goal, right? That being said, I have made a bunch of Instagram reels and TikToks, some where I was speaking, some where I wasn't speaking. That's a great way to start too, since it's an even smaller step towards getting comfortable in front of the camera. You'll learn a lot from that as well. So for this channel, I have a ton of ideas on all kinds of topics like finding your purpose, starting a business, freelancing, life in Germany, overcoming your personal blogs, and so on. I know this is a lot and I'm still at the beginning, but I have a general direction and a good sense of what I want to talk about, even if it doesn't all fit neatly into one niche. But I also want to give myself space to experiment and follow my intuition instead of always overthinking it. But this isn't your niche, you can't make a video about it. Brain, just let me have fun for once, okay? This is a new approach for me, one I've mostly learned in my 30s, trusting my intuition and not acting out of scarcity. So yeah, this is the direction I want to take this channel. And if you want to follow my YouTube journey, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the next video.